We are live. We are live. What's happening? What's happening? It's your man, Corey Williams, aka CINO. Man, welcome to another show of CONVO with CINO Live. Man, I'm excited, y'all. We're going to have a good show tonight. Give it up, give it up. Yeah. Well, one thing I can tell y'all tonight, it may be a little raggedy tonight. I say that because I ain't got my co-host with me tonight. 22, come out wherever you are, man. I don't know. Somebody put an APB on 22 for me, man. Y'all check on them. Nah, but seriously, throw your twos up, man. Shout out to 22. I know he has some situations going on, so hopefully he'll be joining us next week. But so tonight, you got me. You got me all by yourself. You got me all to yourself. Now what you gonna do? All right, so that's why I say the show gonna be a little raggedy tonight, because I gotta do all the visual background stuff that 22 do. And the thing is, you get spoiled. I was watching Corey Holcomb, the 5150 show. And we'll talk about that a little later, but all the stuff going on with 5150 right now, him and Anton Daniels. But he was his last show, he was frustrated because he couldn't, the producers, they wasn't getting stuff right. They wasn't pulling up the videos. And I mean, he was literally like saying he about to fire the people right there on his show. And so it made me think how, I know how valuable having a producer is, and having, just having people, there for leverage, you know what I'm saying? So, so it's going to be a little rough tonight, y'all, but we going to make it. So let me make sure I'm tapped in to all my channels. And we got a guest for you tonight, man. I got a guest for you. My man, one of my, good brothers, man. I met this brother, some time ago, a couple years ago. Him and his wife, man, doing some incredible things in the Indianapolis area. So, stay tuned here for my guest coming on tonight. I'm just making sure we on all channels, making sure we hitting on all frequencies. But yeah, we got a hot show. We still gonna have a dope show. But again, man, if you see 22, if you know 22, man, give him a shout out, and keep him in your prayers as we keep you guys in our prayers. So what I want to do real quick, because I'm gonna get right into our guests. So 22 gonna be proud of me tonight. Let me get into the disclaimer. See, I learned. Let's do this. The views and opinions expressed during CONVO with CINO Live are those of the host, guests, and contributors, and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of CINO, CONVO with CINO, its affiliates, or program enhancement coordinator 22. Viewer discretion is advised. This show is intended for information and conversational purposes only. See, I could say, hey man, hold on. I'm doing pretty good so far. So let me do this, y'all. Let me pay a couple bills. Let me get some shout outs. Let me make a few announcements real quick, and then we're gonna get into get with our guests, because he already out. They be kicking it, man. Indianapolis, man. Shout out to Indianapolis and everybody out there who rock with CONVO with CINO, man. Straight up. But what I want to do real quick, I got to give my union a shout out. So we got a couple events coming up. February 20th, 2026. Save the date. We got the Fight for Love, man. It's going to be at the Union Hall right here in Chicago, Illinois. So make sure you tap into that. If you like fighting, if you're in the Illinois area, make sure you tap into the Fight for Love event on February the 20th. And on top of that, we got some more union stuff. The Bulls, I know everybody been, really, I've been seeing a lot of people at the Bulls concert, the Bulls games lately. So I don't know if they giving away the tickets. I don't know what they doing with the Bulls tickets, but right now we got the discount tickets, man. Shout out to our guy Wacko, man, the vice president of our union hall right here in Chicago. You know, shout out to 551 and all my union brothers and sisters, man. So definitely got to get them a shout out. So, all right, all right. And of course, I ain't forget about this. Ending soon. I got the New Year credit repair special ending soon, guys. I made it 226 for the year 2026. So, I mean, take advantage of it because next month, I promise you, don't call me talking about is how much is it? I thought it was 226. No, it's $399. Hold on. It's going to be $399 next month, straight up. So I've been giving this thing away for the last couple of years, and I'm still giving. That's still a deal. A lot of my colleagues charge a lot more for credit repair. So shout out to again, shout out to all my colleagues. Shout out to my guy Dwight Looney, Rich Off Information, and the whole Rich Off Information crew. All right, guys. With no further delay, you know, I'm gonna bring my guy on, man. And I met this brother, and you can check us out on the INDY Bosses show that I did with him and his wife, and he's the co-founder of the INDY Bosses reality show. Him and his wife run a very successful home care business, and they actually teach people how to set up their own business. And he's actually just ventured into a new business venture. I didn't even know he did this. The brother is a producer. I didn't even know he made music. He actually made the theme music for the INDY Bosses. So they keep it all in-house. And so he's just started his own media company called Aura Media Group, man, and Music Media Group. He got a hot single out. I'm gonna let him tell you the name of it because it's some Spanish, exotic type of stuff, man. So without further delay, I'm gonna bring up my guy, my brother, man. We got the same last name too, but I'm gonna bring up my guy, Mr. CEO, my boy Stacy. What's up, my brother?
What's going on, Corey?
What's up,
good
man?
To see you. Good to see you,
man. Always good to see you, man. And you know, you ran into my guy Winfred, man, out there last week at the spot.
Good people. Yeah, matter of fact, I even got one of his cigars. Shout out to Winfred.
Shout out to the Winfred on cigar brand. He definitely expanded, man, like we all are, man. But for those who don't know you, man, tell the people who you are and you know, a little bit about yourself.
Well, they call me Mr. CEO, but I'm Stacy, Mr. CEO Williams. Me and my wife own a few businesses. We got a reality show that's hot right now here in the city of Indianapolis. A lot of people seen it, but we just you know, trying to make moves, you know what I mean, trying to uplift our people, you know what I mean, try to take everybody with us that wants to go. You know, everybody don't want to go. You know what I mean? Everybody ain't meant to go. So, you know, we just kind of, you know, go.
But isn't that funny? People say they want to go. Everybody, I think, want to go. But is it that they don't want to put the work in to go?
They don't want to put the work in. You know, you get a fellows trip together. You got 8 or 9 people. Oh, yeah, man, I'm going. And then when it's time, it's 2 or 3 of y'all. You know what I mean? Everybody ain't meant to go. You know, everybody be like making excuses. You know, I got this to do. But everybody ain't built for it. You know what I mean? It's a lot of work. It's definitely a lot of work. Yeah, I mean, long nights, up, frustrations, you know what I mean? And then when you're dealing with reality, it's just what it is. You know, it's reality. So you're dealing with all kind of different attitudes, emotions. And then, you know, I want a female to chop my head off, but, you know, the cast are predominantly women. So, you know, when it comes to women, they move a little different than we do. You know what I mean? So, you know, the fellas on the thing, we just sitting back looking like, man, what they, you know what I mean? But, you know, emotions are high when it comes to females, and you know, that's a job in itself for me as a producer or executive producer of the show. You know what I mean? Because some people are like, oh, you messy. No, I'm not really necessarily messy. I just listen to what you tell me. So, you know, I'm trying to make a good show. So if you tell me, I mean, we might as well talk about it on, you know, live. You know what I mean? A lot of people say, oh, no, you showing a negative light of, of our people and all that, but it makes people uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So, to
As
see,
in that Kanye, so it gets the people going, right?
yeah, it gets people going. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to sit around and sitting us talking about rainbows and Cheerios. You know what I mean? They want some controversy. You know what I mean? And because it's everyday life. You got that co-worker that everybody talk about. You got that family member that that's off the chain. Doing things they ain't supposed to be doing, and we just bringing it to light. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Otherwise, basically the show is based on entrepreneurship. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And
And
showing
speaking
what
on
people doing in the community.
that entrepreneurship, because you guys have a crew, like you guys, like y'all do everything together, y'all party,
We
eat, y'all
moving
let
like
each
an army. If
other.
you see one of us, you're gonna see 20 of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
So
that's just how we
how
move.
did you build that? Was that something that just happened organically, or how did
It
that happen?
happened organically, but my wife, she has this charisma. Everybody don't have it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
she just has this charisma that people follow her. You know what I mean? So, and then we was always friends prior to business, and we was hanging out before business. You know what I mean? Then when business came in, it just took us to a different level. You know what I mean? So we just continued on. Some people fell off, some people continued on. So we're like it's like one big family. The whole show is
Yeah.
one big family, regardless if I knew you for 2 years, if I know you for 20 years, I know you when you came and auditioned. We all family now. You know what I mean? So we all trying to make it together. You know what I mean? We're
Yeah.
not trying to leave nobody behind. So
And speaking of that, you guys kind of attracted the attention of one of the reality show heavy hitters, right?
yeah, Yandy.
Sister
She's
Yandy.
family now. You know what I mean? She family. You know what I mean? Her and my wife talk probably every day, every other day. You know what I mean? She's just down to earth. She's like our mentor. You know what I mean? And she's executive producer on the show. So, she tells us the do's and the don'ts, and you know, and the whys, and why should we do this? You know what I mean? Because we learned from her, mistakes she may have made through the years. She's been in 15 years in the game. So, you know what I mean?
Wow.
She was able to guide us and give us our training wheels so we wouldn't make those mistakes that other
Yeah.
shows made, or you know what I mean. We didn't want a bootleg type of show, or cameramen, or they worked on Love and Hip Hop, or even our writer Kim Osorio. I'll shout out to her. She's worked with all kind of what is it, growing up hip hop, and Love and Hip Hop, and Black Ink Chicago. Matter of fact, you know what I mean. So what I mean, she's seasoned. You know what I mean. She worked with Benzino back in the day, so she's moved. She's been around everybody, so she does a lot of her writing. And when I say writing, I think a lot of people get that misunderstood as making up something. We don't make up anything. You know what I mean? Everything happens organically. Now it might not happen instantly at that time, but it happened. You know what I mean? So that's what makes reality.
Okay.
It's not, just making up something like, okay, hey Corey, we ain't gonna get along today. We're gonna say we did this. No, it's not like that. You know what I mean? So when we was in New York and we was filming episode 2, an incident happened with 2 of the cast members that really don't get along or don't see eye to eye. And then the influencers was there, was like, wow, you know what I mean? They realized that it wasn't this, it's not scripted. You know what I mean? It's this real
Okay.
emotions, real people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And put in uncomfortable situations, you know what I mean? So, it's how do you
And
handle it?
anytime you put different personalities together, it don't matter what. Like you done been on trips with couples and different places, and somebody always gonna be late. You gonna have somebody that's argumentative, somebody who don't want to do this or that, or
And
somebody
it
just
don't be
always
like that when
complaining.
you hanging out with them in the city. You never thinking, and then when you with them for a week, then are you staying in
Yeah.
the same Airbnb? It's like, well, they messy. Well, they this, they that. You know what I mean? So it's this.
Yep.
Only thing difference is a camera there.
Yeah.
Exposing
Yeah.
you. A lot of people don't want to be exposed. You know what I mean? It's uncomfortable for them. You know what I mean? Nobody want to know the true person. They don't want to know the true Corey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or the true Mr. CEO. You know what I mean? They just want to keep it bottled up, and it's all, oh, I see him and his wife, they the perfect relationship. No. We have arguments. We have disagreements. You know what I mean? just like
Absolutely,
anybody
yeah.
else. But we just actually letting the world come in and see we just like y'all. You know what I mean? So
Now, how many y'all on episode number 3?
we on episode number 3. We're getting ready to film February 1st. We're gonna do 4 and 5. We're gonna make it a 6-episode season with 2 uh reunion shows, and Yandy's gonna come host it. And we're going to we're going to Atlanta next month, and we're gonna premiere the 2nd episode again for the people that hasn't seen it. And, you know, we're gonna do a couple of events down in Atlanta. You know, her home, well, not her hometown, but where she lives at now. You know, her hometown's New York, so you know we went there before too. So
man, so you got the indie bosses, you know, and again, hold on, man, because that's just big for the city, man. You know, big for the people. And hold on, let me give my applause. I told this show gonna be a little raggedy tonight. Hold on. There you go. So you got the indie bosses. So this music thing, this music, this other talent that you have. So along with executive producing, you also are you the head of the music of it, or you?
I'm the head of what happened was, you know, I've always been in music. Anybody knew me, I listened to everything from George Strait to Elvis Presley to Ziggy Marley. I mean, whatever, you know what I mean? So I've always been a music head. And I had a record label back early 2000s. And it left a bad taste in my mouth because back then we had producers, you know, it was kind of like Jack Leg producers. You know, I'd give them $300-400 for a beat and they wouldn't produce or they disappear. And, you know what I mean? I had a couple people on the label that actually won. Couple of them went to jail. Rest in peace. One of them actually killed herself about 2 years ago. You know what I mean? This is years later, but you know what I mean? It was a lot. So it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. So I just left it alone. But I always
those sound like average things that happen in the music industry, though. That music industry is shady,
you know,
for
and
real.
I left it alone for years. I'm like, I'm done with it. I'm not fooling with it. You know, my brother-in-law, he sings. He's got a group, and he kept saying, "Hey, bro, you know, I'm gonna start a record label." I'm like, look, I'm not interested. You know, I'll support you, and you know, wholeheartedly, you know, and everything, but that's just not my lane. So what happened was when the show came about, every good show has a opening or intro.
Absolutely.
So Trina was sitting around. She said, "Yeah, we need an intro song." So I'm like, "I can write an intro song." You know what I mean? So I'm at work. You know what I mean? Because I'm maintenance, so you know I kind of do what I want to do. So I'm writing the song, and so then I discovered the controversial AI. Right. So now with AI, I don't have to go spend $400 or $500 or 1,000, 2,000. Let me take that back. Let me rewind before I go forward. The original song was one of the cast members, Zakia Parker. I had AI assist me in making the template of the song, right? So when I say the template, you have to, I mean, to make a quality song, you have to understand music. You know, I used to play guitar, I used to play violin, I know what an 808 is, I know what a Congo drum, you know what I mean? So I was able to, I know what beats per minute is, you know what I mean? I know what kind of tempo I want to be on. And if I don't, I may take another song and be like, say it's I don't know, Prince song. I'll be like, what tempo is that on? Because that's the tempo I want. You know what I mean? So in order to create with AI assisting you, you have to know what you actually want. You know what I mean? What you need. So what I did was I did like a little tempo, little song. And then shout out to Devin Golder. He's a producer in the city. We reached out to him. Sakia went to him. He created another organic beat and she sung my lyrics. Now she added, of course, you know, every good artist gonna be like, well, nah, I want to kind of go this way. You know what I mean? So she added the chorus to it, which we in the hood called the hook. You know, it's really the chorus. You know what I mean? So she did the chorus to it. So it hit, and then it was like, huh. So I got that itch back. So as the itch came back, I started doing other songs, or I had other poems that I had wrote before. And, you know, back in the day, you ain't telling nobody you wrote no poem. That's corny. You know what I mean? I ain't, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was able to now
And that's all
not
rap
only
is. I mean, that's all rap is, really. You know,
right, and then you
poetry
know
with a beat.
right. AI is no different than auto tune came out. They didn't want it. You know what I mean? A lot of artists are falling for, oh, it's this, you know, it's AI. Like I had a family member say, hey man, I was listening to this country song, man. It's one of the best country songs, but I realized AI, I didn't want to listen to it no more. Why not? It's still somebody's real emotions, somebody's real words.
We
You know
just
what I
got, you
mean?
know,
But
we just got to get used to change. They even have like AI prayer. Like you know, on TikTok they had the people. You could tell it's AI. They praying, but I mean, I just listen to the words. Like I don't care who I'm listening to it to feed me. You know.
right, you know, like JD and them, I get it. You know what I mean? You gotta realize he's an engineer and a producer. So you're cutting to his money. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't know why the artists is so upset because the the record labels don't care about you anyway. So, you know, there's artists that actually can use AI. For instance, I got songs that I use AI as a template. I send it to them and say, this is the way it's supposed to sound. So when you create a song, there's stems, right? So stems are basically broke down by instruments. So you know you have the vocals, then you have the background vocals, then you have the guitar, then you have the drum, then you have the percussion, then you know what I mean. So that breaks it all down. So basically, you learn it in the tempo that I send it to you, and then when you go to the studio, okay, let's take the words out of it, and now you sing it. You know what I mean? So they already know how it's supposed to sound, how it's supposed to, and it's been going on for years. You know, they signed actually, and people don't know, they signed the first artist. I think his name was like FN Meta, FN something back in 2022. He was an AI
Mm,
artist. But
okay.
what happened was they got so much backlash from it that they dropped his deal. So, but then
Mm.
here comes Zena Monet.
But who
You know,
owns the who owns the, does a person own it, like your artist? And speaking of, let's get into your song real quick. I got a little snippet. I told you this show gonna be a little hood. Hold on. This is tell us about this song, this film boy. Tell us about the film
Femme
boy. I got a
Voyer.
little clip.
Shout out to all my Haitian community. What happened
So it's
was
a Haitian song. Okay.
it's a Haitian Creole song. What happened was my buddy, he's Haitian. Well, he's part Haitian. His dad is Dominican. You know, because it's close together in the island. We sitting in Florida, and he was like, "Man, I see you doing your music." You know, he said, "Man, you ought to do a Haitian song." I'm like, "A Haitian song?" I was like, "Well, what they talk about?" He was like, "Nothing really. I mean, they like, you know, they like to dance. So, you know, this got something to do with sex, cheating, you know, relationships. That's what they listen to." So I said, "All right." Well, I had a perfect song. Basically, Femboyer. Femboyer means, you know, you basically make me lose control. So basically, it's about a guy that's got a girl.
So hold on. So did you take what lyrics that you already had and then put it
They was
in?
already my original lyrics.
So you know how you knew how to speak and write Haitian. I mean, what that's
No,
a language.
I knew how to go to the right place to be able to transfer it in Haitian Creole. Haitian Creole is a broken French. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
everybody that like somebody from France, they might necessarily understand all Haitian, but Haitian is more of a broken French. So I was
Uh,
able to get a program, was able to transfer my music, but their structure is different. So I had to study their structure on how they structure their songs. So I
okay.
knew what they liked, you know what I mean, as far as congos, the cowbell, you know what I mean, and the guitar, and it was different elements in the song that I knew that drew them to the song. You know what I mean? Because back in the day, you had the house parties, everybody grooving, everybody all on each other. How many times you go somewhere you see that now? In American culture, we don't do that no more, but they still
Now
do
they
it.
just twerk. They just twerk now.
Right, they
They
just twerk
just twerk.
now, but in their
Yeah.
culture, they actually
They
together, you
still
know,
they
they
still
hug each
got
other,
that.
you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
All
So
right. So introduce this song real quick. Let me let the people hear a little
it's
bit of.
Femme Bouye. Before you play it, so a lot of people don't understand because I had a buddy say, "Hey man, you play it at a wedding." I said, "No, Now, if you know the words to it, you know, basically it's about a guy. He's got a girl. He's messing around with another girl that's got a guy. And it's just like, you know, it's forbidden, but they can't help themselves. She makes him lose control, so he still got to be with her, but even know that he can't have her because she's got a man. So, you know, with my analytics, it shows that the men are more gravitate to it than the actual Haitian females. But yeah, you can play it.
Sound like the blues.
Basically, blues and Haitian.
All right, I stole this from your TikTok, man. So let's check this out.
Ça pas d'un plan, non. Mais qu'à pas jamais de permission. Chaque fois où regardez comme ça, qu'aime bat vivi. Ou pas y poser pour moi, mais ou fait m'envie pécher tout de suite. Moi connais où gagne la caille, moi connais gagne risque.
The beat, you're gonna dance to it regardless if you know what it's saying or not. You know
hey, bro, bro. As I start listening to it more, I'm like, damn, that's fine. I like it. It's a smooth. You see, I set the background of Miami style for you, man. I know you know.
Right.
You
know,
because you know, a lot of,
you know, because you know, and what I did was I found out where our biggest Haitian communities are. You know what I mean? That actually enjoy that type of music. And what I did notice out of everything, they support. I'm telling you, I probably on TikTok, I probably ran 5 to 6 posts, and I probably got over 1.5 million plus views, and not one negative comment. Now, if I would have said that same song,
what's your TikTok? What's your TikTok? What can we follow you on TikTok?
Only the number one, Mr. CEO.
Hold on. Only
with the actual number one, Mr. CEO.
Okay. All right.
So, you know, it was really a test run. It was really because my buddy, he's, you know, he wants to sing and he, you know, so, but when the song blew up so quick, I just went on and ran it as an AI artist, which was John Aura. You know what I mean? Even when I put it on
YouTube, so that's an AI artist?
He's an AI artist, and I actually
is an AI artist.
YouTube on the John Aura official. The video I curated, it's him through the whole video. And last time I looked earlier today, I
seen the video. I couldn't get the damn video up.
For real, yeah, it was 13,000 views, and I got like almost 300 and some subscribers. So you know they support their own. I ran a ad again yesterday for letting everybody know this out on streaming services and it's out on YouTube, and I got 132,000 views within 24 hours. So you know they support the music. I do a lot of, you know, of course I still do American music, you know what I mean, but
that's the vibe, bro. That's the vibe.
Right, whatever I can take AI out of, I will. You know what I mean? If I can get the person, you know, if I can't find somebody to sing it, you know what I mean? And then, you know, AI killed the gatekeeping. So that's what they're upset about too. So now the artists don't have to go spend thousands of dollars, or they'll bill them, you know, and then when they get the upfront money, and then they don't spend all this money on the studio. Why? Because they're already, you know, I mean, you can create the beat, you know, own it 100% commercially, you know what I mean? So, and then there's a lot of artists that are using it. Now, they're not going to say they're using it, of course, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, yeah. It's like a ghostwriter. It's like the perfect ghostwriter.
Right, because you got ghostwriters now. It's not a problem. You know, it was a problem when auto-tune. You know, it's a problem when, you know, Rick Ross lost fans because he used to work as a security guard, I mean, or whatever, prison guard. What's it got to do with his music? Right. You know what I mean? Because having people listen to it, you're not gangster anyway. You know, you ain't never been to jail. You go to work 9 to 5. So why are you worried about what he do? Do you like his music or not? You know what I mean? So it's here to stay. It's not going nowhere. So you either gonna get with it or you gonna get run over. So even Timberland's got his own AI pop artist. You know what I mean? Everybody that's smart is going to go towards it because there's so many different key elements you can use out of it. I'm telling you, ChatGPT. Some of my beats was actually made organically because what I did was I went to ChatGPT and said, look, I got a program called Logic Pro. I want to create a West Coast beat. So basically what ChatGPT was says, okay, take a picture of your program of the front page and send it to me and I'll walk you through it. And I was able to create a beat that Dr. Dre or DJ Quick made and within 30 minutes that, they might took 2 hours to do. And then, somebody, oh, that's AI. No, it's not AI. I just had somebody show me how to do it. You weren't going to show me. You know what I mean? Like, without paying you. You know what I mean? If I could sit there and create a song within 2 minutes, you know what I mean? And I can actually master it in 30 seconds. Why would I go and pay? The fear is I'm getting cut out of my money, which is good. I mean, like, what you do. What's your biggest fear? Robots coming there and doing what you do. But they shouldn't worry about it because AI can't perform it. You know what I mean? So you got to have somebody perform it. If you think that these artists are sitting up there, flipping upside down, running around, dancing all night long, and they're singing these songs naturally, it's not.
So how is this monetized, bro? How is this? How do you monetize it? Because now a lot of artists
like anything else because it depends on what program you use. The most famous program is CINO. CINO, even the girl that did Zanae Monet, I think that's how you pronounce it. She used CINO. CINO, if you purchase the year program, you own 100% commercial rights. So I can release it because anything now, if the key is you have to prompt the beat, you have to prompt the voice, you have to put everything, all the elements. As long as you put the elements and you let AI assist you in creating this song, you own 100% commercial rights. I got 3 or 4 songs right now streaming and I get monetized and get paid for it. You know what I mean? I don't advise anybody to go to Sono and type in, I want a song about a guy met a girl. You know what I mean? And I want it in the hip hop. I wouldn't advise that because there's no creativity behind that. But if you got a song or you got a poem or you got a buddy and he tells you this story and you write it, because what I do is everybody writes different. I write it as a story and then I'll break it down as a poem and break it down. That's how I create the music. A lot of people say I can't just create something just like out of the blue. It's got to be something that I can relate to, or me and you might go hang out and you tell me about the baby mama, this, and that. Then, okay, well, that gives me an idea. So now I can write it out as a story form. Then I can break it down and then I can figure out what kind of chorus I want. You know what I mean? And then I'm able to create. And then I figure out what kind of instruments I want. Do I want it a jazzy type, or I want it blues, or I want it, you know what I mean? And then create from there.
But, so how is this charted? Like, you got the Billboard, you got different chart. How is AI music charted? And
I'm not sure because I've never really got into it or studied it, but I do notice that people watch TikTok. And if it's jumping on TikTok, then you're gonna be able to do something with it. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, it's all about social media now. I tell anybody, if you got a business, if you ain't got social media, you're not gonna do what you want to do in business. People say, "Oh, I don't do social media." Well, you're not gonna have a successful business.
I don't get that. To save my life, I don't get that.
I don't understand that. That's free advertising.
I don't get that at all.
Page that you can monetize on, and get it all over
free advertising.
Right, but they don't understand that. You know what I mean? The older generation, y'all understand that, but the younger generation, and I always tell people, if you've had a Facebook or you had an Instagram and you on there being ratchet and all that, and you own a business, you need to either delete all that or start a new Facebook or Instagram. You know what I mean? And start fresh, because people look at that. You know, even jobs now, when you go and you apply for a job, guess what they do? They gonna look you up on social
Oh
media.
yeah,
Don't believe
absolutely.
that they don't. No, don't
They're
believe
gonna
that they
Google
don't.
your name. They're gonna Google your name and see what pop up. Yeah.
Right. Then
Yeah.
now when you attach yourself to anything on the internet, it's always going to be there. So I
Yeah.
can instantly put your name in, and then all your social media is going to come up, and then you be like, oh, you come in here like you this and that, but you cussing out the girl that you met at the restaurant yesterday, because that gives them the opportunity to be like, you know what, man, you ain't right for my company. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I tell anybody, you know, social media is a key. How do you know? How would anybody know any Boston reality show was unless we had social media? YouTube,
Yeah. Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook. You know what I mean? You know, and we caught a lot of, not really a lot of flack, but like here, I noticed Indiana don't support. They don't support their own. They'll support
Come
anybody
on,
else.
Indiana. Come on, Indiana. Come on
They'll
now.
support anybody else, but they're not going to support you, whether it be because they didn't think of it, or whatever may be the reason that they don't do it. But they'll, you know, oh well, we don't know none of the people. That's the main thing. You didn't know who Andy was, unless they was established artists or somebody prior to getting on to reality show. You didn't know who they was. You know,
Yeah.
I've had people comment, well, you need to put people on there we know. I actually, be honest with you, we didn't make it for you. You know, we made it for the national scale. You know what I mean? We thinking bigger than Indiana. You know what I mean? You know, and
Yeah.
then I watched Mike Epps' interview with Shannon Sharp, and I kind
Yeah. I
of felt
seen
it when
that.
he was talking about the survivor guilt, and, you know, feel like you left people behind. You know what I mean? Because people feel some type of way, whether it be family, friends. They might not say it to you, but you can feel the energy around them. Even though, you know, even when I got, you know, my job years ago, I felt the tension. Like, you know, it's just people. You know what I mean? It's human nature. So you just gotta, what they say, you know, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. So, you know, I
Yeah.
mean, we had they put it out. We had 100,000 views. Now probably 70,000 of it was negative, but I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Either you gotta get with it or get run over, because as far as you watch it now, it's still coming. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. I had a guy say that he'd talking about the messiness, and I told him, based on what we was talking about earlier, if you don't know a coworker that's messy or a family member, I can show you a liar. You know, if they say they ain't got nobody messing around, he said, well, I guess you gonna call me a liar. Well, if you in your heart think that you don't have nobody that's messing around you, then more power to you. But I highly believe
Well, I
that
mean,
you have somebody.
drama sells, bro. I mean, it just is what it is. You know what I'm
It is
saying?
what it is. Nobody wants to see,
I mean,
you know.
if this show, let me just be honest, if this show was about drama, if me and you on here arguing and all that, people gonna stop. They gonna be scrolling and stop like, oh, they, you know, just like the Corey Holcomb show and Anton Dance. You know, I was watching this new show today. It was like, man, we got 22,000 people in the chat because they want to hear, they want the mess. They want to hear what he
Yeah,
got to say.
but they want the mess, but then they're gonna turn around and say they don't want it. Which one you want? You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Exactly.
Because if you look at the statistics and you look at the viewers, it's saying something different. You know what I mean? Somebody's liking it. You know, somebody's liking it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when somebody says something negative, normally we just say like, share, and subscribe. You know, it might not be your cup of tea. You know what I mean? But it's somebody.
And let me be
Somebody
honest,
enjoys it.
every guy I know that has a wife or girlfriend or whatever, they say the first thing they do is turn on some reality show. They got a
Right.
whole network. They got a whole network for reality show now. Like I didn't even
When
know
you
that.
think about it, reality shows are basically based on women. Just like Indie Bosses, it's based around my wife and her friends and associates, and we're just part of the plan because we're the husbands. Nobody
Right.
wants to see indie boss husbands. You know what I mean? They want to see the females, what they're doing. Now we play a role, of course. You know what I mean? And to make it make sense, you know, we play a role, but everybody wants to see, and everybody on the show is successful one way or the other. Whether it be with their
Absolutely.
music, you know, their esthetician, you know, hospice, You know, I've had people rental car places, food trucks. You know, there's successful people in Indiana that
Yeah.
was able to have the opportunity to, you know, show it in a different way. Now I've had people, and I kind of like remember people and I kind of watch. So, you know, we had people that wanted to audition that for whatever reason maybe got the cold feet, didn't show up, and then I see him in the
Yeah.
comments. I'm like, I could easily bust you out and show you where you went and applied. You know what I mean? But you got scared or whatever may happen, you didn't show up. You know what I mean? So now, since I think in the beginning we watched as it progressed, because in the beginning we did an audition call, right? We had 3, 4 people show up, couple friends. So then the second, we had a few more. So then after that first episode dropped, Yandy was around and all that. So all of a sudden, man, we had so many. We had 40, 50 people
Mm,
come and audition.
yeah.
Now they feel like you got motion. So now I need to be
Absolutely.
on there. We got people now that's still reaching out. So we tell anybody that's on the show, I mean, it is what it is. If it ain't for you, guess what? You got a whole bunch of people sitting back
Yeah.
waiting for the opportunity. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's up to them. I think it's a good project, and I think when people see episode 3, it's a lot of emotion. It's a lot of emotion on there. It's like reality. You know what I mean? And I think people are going to be able to understand now. You know what I mean? They, you know, because of course when we show the trailers or whatever, of course we're going to show something that we want you to see. It's clickbait. You know what I mean? We want you to
Yes.
come and watch the
Absolutely.
trailer. We want you to watch it. You know what I mean? Now, in some people's mind, they think that oh, this whole show gonna be like that. Just like I was looking at some comments earlier. Well, this wasn't even filmed in because it says Brooklyn Chop House. Y'all didn't even film it. If y'all want people to watch it, you got to film it in Indiana. Well, that's kind of like simple minded because that's one part. It's 1 minute of a 45 minute show. Of
Yeah.
course, we're
You know,
we're
people gonna
from
dissect
Indiana.
it, man. They looking at every little detail, man, trying to
I
pick
mean,
pick something negative.
every little thing. They nitpick every little thing. Well, y'all ain't even filming it here. It says Fort Lauderdale. I'm like, well, look, we're all from
Y'all
Indiana.
bosses, y'all travel. What? I mean, that's what bosses do. They, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. See, I mean, we
That's what
got to go
bosses
out
do.
of town and we move around just like, you know. But, you know, it is what it is.
Any
We just got
excuse
to
to
do.
do, bro. Any excuse to do, man. And shout out. And speaking of that,
Yes.
man, y'all at the spot right now, right? Y'all got the. Let me see.
Yeah,
Y'all got
I'm
some.
upstairs, but
Y'all
yeah,
got
the
some
care.
of the indie bosses right now, right? Tell us about this
Yep.
event,
We
man.
do. We say what now?
I said, tell us
Yeah,
about the event. Y'all do karaoke?
oh yeah, every Wednesday at Cosmos at 3338 North Illinois, we do a karaoke night. And a lot of people know Cosmos has been a staple in our city for years and years and years and years. I think it was black men, businessmen that back in the day, you know, back in the day, we wasn't allowed to go certain places. So what they did was they curated their own club, which was called Cosmo Nights. So they had somewhere to go. We had like the Columbia Club downtown where it was whites only. You know, the only thing he's gonna do in there is cook or clean up or whatever, but you wasn't allowed to be a member. So I think with that being, so they started their own. And then over the years, you know, of course they got older, some passed away. So now it was open to the public a few years back. So when it was open to the public, they end up making it a cigar bar. So now it's like the staple in the neighborhood where everybody come hang out. No drama, drama free. You can have a drink, smoke a cigar, you know, watch the game. But on Wednesday nights, we do karaoke. And we just started doing it here last week. And man, I didn't realize people love to sing down here. I know it was like we ended at 12, it was 10:40. We had like 15 songs on the roster ready to sing. I'm like, man, everybody want to sing. So, but it's always a
Wow.
good time, you know what I mean? Everybody hang out, you know, loosen their collar a little bit, and, you know,
Yeah.
and just relax. And then a lot of indie bosses come. You know what I mean? And we get to see, talk to the people, and like I said, we meet a lot of new people, do a lot of networking. It's just this is
That's
a
what
fun
it's
time.
about.
It kind of reminds you of the cigar bar up in Highland. You know what I mean? It's kind of
Okay.
similar to a certain extent. You know what I mean? It's just a laid back, family oriented type, you know, place. So
Yeah. Man, that's what's up, man. Y'all got a lot of motion, man. Congratulations. Let's get in a couple of topics, man, and I'm gonna let you get to the party, man. Let's talk about this, man. So your boy Kevin Hart, man, has officially licensed his name in a major branding deal. Have you heard about this?
no, that's the first I heard of that. Smart though.
So, yeah. So this is actually, they're saying this is almost going to take him to billionaire status. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I'm
So
sure.
yeah. So I know you kind of know about. I know you getting into this part of the game, the licensing and all of that. So do you think that's a good move? I guess like artists selling their catalogs and stuff like that. What you think about that?
I mean, it's a good move. I mean, the government already licensed his name when he was born. If you really think about it, if you want to go that deep, you know what I mean? When they gave you
Yeah.
that social security number and put your names in all capital, they made you, they branded you. You know what I mean? They make money off of us. You think about
Yeah.
it, why not him make money off of it? They make money off us every day. You pay taxes
Yeah.
every year, right? You don't pay taxes, you go to jail. So they're gonna make the
Yeah.
money off of you. So why not monetize off your own name?
Yeah.
I think it's
Well,
a good
you
thing.
guys go. Well, you gonna be faced with that pretty soon. With
I
the
brand my
music
name.
and the show, right? I mean, with
Right. You
licensing,
know what I
and yeah,
mean?
y'all gonna have
We've
to deal with
already
that.
trademarked the name, you know what I mean? So, it's ours now, you know what I mean? Just like I like to write. So if I could, if there's some major, people that, or people that need songs, I got plenty of them for them, you know what I mean? Because I do the AI because I'm able to hear it and see how it sounds. Now, some of the songs, people just gravitate to, and I might put them out, but I got like tons of songs that I just sit back. I got a lot of gospel songs. I think I'm gonna do a gospel album. Uh, but other than that, like I said, it's just a lot going on. We definitely got a lot going on. It's always something, whether it be a gala or, we got to make an appearance. We got to come here. We got to go there. It's a lot of PR, you know what I mean? And then, we've had people to say, yeah, I'm going to start, or we hear through the grapevine, I'm starting my own reality show here in Indiana. We're going to call it such and such. Good luck. Because guess what? It's a lot of work, a lot of money,
Oh,
a
I'm
lot of
sure.
attitudes, a lot of emotions, a lot of stressful nights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you built for it, then go for it. I think everybody should, if that's what your dream is or you want, look at Atlanta Housewives. You got Married to Medicine, they all in Atlanta. It don't have to be
Yeah.
one reality show. You know what I mean? But I think in Indiana, they have this uh, thing of competition instead of trying to work together because I think that's our biggest problem here in the state. We don't work together. We can't come together. We always trying to be better than the other one. I'm gonna try to top you instead of being like, hey, I see y'all got your reality show. Hey, so what did y'all do? So instead of that, now they don't do that. They just saying, oh, we're gonna be better than them. We the real bosses. We this, we
Yeah.
that. Okay, well if you think that's gonna work for you, yeah, you'll slowly drill out. You know what I mean? Because that's not gonna work. Like look at the artists we have. We've had talented artists here that go nowhere because they don't have the backing. Now they go somewhere if they leave here. You know what I mean? If they
Dang.
leave here, go to Atlanta or whatever, they'll make it there, but they're not gonna make it here because they're not gonna support you here. Yeah, for whatever
We gotta
reason,
get
that's the
better,
sort of
man.
thing. Yeah,
We gotta do better. And
we gotta do
speaking
better,
of
but
Atlanta,
like that.
speaking of
Go ahead.
Atlanta, man, your boy Tip is back, man. T.I. say, man, he dropping a full, and the song is hot, man. I don't know if you heard it, but I guess after his
I think
stint,
I heard a snippet of it. I mean, but he needs to stick to what he knows because he tried to get into a lane that really wasn't his. Me personally, in my opinion, comedy is
yeah,
not him. You know what I mean? I've had friends that they funny when we talking, but when you get in front of people, it's not so funny. You know what I mean? So I think he needs to stick with what he knows and what he's good at, and that's music. You know what I mean? So I think that's just something he's like really good
Have you
at.
seen have you seen any of his because he came to Indianapolis, right? I know he was in that. He was up here in
Yeah, it
Chicago.
wasn't. I mean, it wasn't a great. I don't think it was a great turnout as far as his. It's just you got it, or you don't. At the end of the day, but
Yeah,
I don't knock that he tried it. You know what I mean? And then, of course, people gonna buy the tickets because who he is. You
absolutely.
know what I mean? I mean, I think I got enough motion probably in the city now that I can say I'm doing a comedy show and I get a few people to show up. Am I gonna be
Yeah,
funny? I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm funny. I'm funny to myself. I crack myself up. You know what I mean? But but I don't see nothing wrong with trying to get into it. If it works, it works. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
He
And if
tried,
it
man. He
don't,
gave it a shot. He gave it a shot. You
yeah, if it
know.
don't work, just move on to something else. You know what I mean? But I just
Yeah,
think, man, like his music, I did see they said this is gonna be his last album
yeah.
that he's getting ready to do. You know what I mean? And then he's still young though. Well, yeah, 45, 44, 45.
Well,
You know what I mean?
initially when he retired, he was saying like, "Well, I'm tired of jumping around on stage, getting sweaty, and all this." So, what happened now? You know what I'm saying? Now you back.
Hey, I mean, but money's
Yeah,
money. I mean, financially, you know what I mean? And if people want to still hear you, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I mean, why not? I mean, why
yeah.
not?
He's
You know what
still
I mean? If
hot.
you can build, he's already built his legacy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And his sons. His sons, you listen
and he
to
had a
some of
reality
his sons.
show. His reality show was pretty decent too.
Yeah,
They had a nice
yeah,
little
because
run.
it showed the real, how it really is, and families and the sons, and you have the one dysfunctional, you got the one. That's just the way it is. You know what I mean? And I think it's good because it makes people uncomfortable. You know what I mean? They don't want, I mean, they're already doing it. They're already talking about each other and they're doing whatever. I just do it on camera.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we've had people, and then, we've had people on the show that do things, and then when you ask them about it, no, they don't want to bring it to the camera. But you do shady stuff. You might throw rocks and hide your hand, but you won't. Then when the camera comes up, you want to play crazy. Like, no, no. Why not?
wasn't me.
You already did it. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah,
said it. Just bring it. Let everybody know. Let everybody see. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But a lot of people don't want you to see the true them. You know what I mean?
yeah,
They want to be, they want to keep it. My thing is, I'm more private. Like, I ain't gonna put like, oh, me and wife got into it today. She ain't cooked. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that neither. You know what I mean? But then when you deal in reality, now people are into the kind of like the inner workings of so much. You know what I mean? So much of what you want to share. You know what I mean? They know more than what the average person would know when you deal in
yeah,
reality. But we knew what we signed up for, when we got into it. And then I hope, the cast members, they should know it too, that yeah, this is a look into your life, you know what I mean, that the average person might not have seen.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So, it's just like I said, it's
yeah,
just reality. So
yeah. Man, speaking of indie, man, y'all had some motion going on this week. What's up with
man,
this, man?
15-0. They ain't have no star
Man,
players. And
shout out,
yeah,
man, to
I was
indie,
proud
man.
of it. Yeah, I was proud of it. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. So we
How the
finally,
vibe in the city, man? How y'all taking it in out there?
this is a sports capital of the United States. So they on cloud 9. So they was on cloud 9 when the coach was what 8-0 or 8 whatever they was. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We're just a big basketball, football, you know,
that's a
corn
heck of a
fed
record,
type.
man.
Yeah, to be
That
15
was a
and
hell of a
0,
record. Yeah,
right? To be
that was
15 and 0, you know what I mean?
and that last play with the quarterback, man, that was just that when he made that touchdown,
Yeah,
that was
yeah. I
crazy.
mean, what's his name? Mendoza. I forget the quarterback's name, but he's actually from Miami, I think.
Right,
Down there
he's
in
from
Florida.
Miami. Had it, yeah. He got a heck of a story, man. Heck of a story.
Right, right. So
Yeah,
I mean, it's good for the city. Any win is
Yeah.
good for the city. You know, would it be in Indiana? That stretches all the way to Gary to
Us, yeah,
you know,
yeah, we
to
represent,
everybody. You know,
and you know,
we
we was
all
just
won.
off, we was just off that Chicago, you know, that Bears game. So you know, we've
Yeah,
been having
yeah. So they
Bears
doing
fever
good.
up here. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
they
I got
did
a
good.
partner here that
They,
you know he's got the cigars here. Shout out to Circle City Cigars. He's from Chicago, so he's a big Bear fan too. So Rohan, he's a big
Rohan,
you know,
okay,
y'all know
yeah,
him.
you told me about him. Yeah, shout out to
Yeah. So
Rohan.
he definitely a big Bears fan. So, you know, like I said, it's the Midwest, so you know we support. You know, we try to support our own. So it's definitely a
Absolutely.
good thing.
Now check this out, man. You heard about your boy?
Yeah, you know, well, you know, I get the stripping. I don't think he got stripped because he's running because of alligator. I think he got stripped because he's scared to fight. You know, that's why he was trying to fight. Um,
Paul, Jake Paul,
uh,
Jake
yeah,
Paul.
because in his contract he can't fight no professional fights unless he fights Roach, and Roach just got his number. Tyson, like Tyson and Evander, or Tyson and Lennox Lewis. You know, he got his number. He did good, but you know, you got with Roach. Roach wasn't scared of you. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? So yeah, I seen that. I seen it where he got stripped and but you know, he's had other domestic
He
issues.
messed up a lot. He messing up a lot of money. He really messing up the bag, though, bro.
Yeah, I don't know why he's running for it. I mean, you got to deal with it. So you might as well go ahead and just go and check in and, you know, be there a few hours, check out. But the more you run, the more longer you got to be in there.
Yeah.
It ain't going to help. You know what I mean? But it's a lot of boxers like that, you know what I mean, that ruin their careers by, you know, their mental state or, you know, maybe what they went through, you know, their domestic issues. It's a lot of them like that, you know what I mean? And
I say
then, you know,
mentorship is important too, man. Mentorship. You
and he
know,
had
if you
it.
ain't got no, huh?
He had it. You know,
He
Roach
had.
had
That's what I'm
them
saying.
answers
When
when he
he
was a
had
kid.
it, he was on track. He was on track
Right. But
when he
then
had
when he
it.
got to that age, that money got to him, he's like, I can do it without you. You know what I mean? I think they was having some issues from what I had seen. And, you know, now he's out on his own. He's what, close to 30 years old. He's at the, you know, he's at the mid part of his career. So he's either gonna bounce back or end up like a lot of other boxers, just washed up, you know, boxer. But I hope he, you know, be able to bounce back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And get his, you know, like I said, mental health is a real thing, and to me, it's a mental issue if you have to put your hands on your significant other. That's not normal. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
may be something he's seen, but that's still mental. That's a mental thing. You know what I mean? So that's something he needs to, you know, do the counseling. That ain't no go to counseling a couple times and let it go. That's years of counseling. That's something you're gonna have to just add to your life. You know what I mean? As counseling to keep you where you need to be. You know what I mean? Because that's not
It
something
seems,
that just
it
goes
seems,
away.
it seems like people, athletes in those aggressive type of sports, people with aggressive jobs like police officers, boxers, football players, you know, it seems like people with aggressive jobs, you know what I'm saying? Army, you know, people that come home from the military. I mean, regular people do it too. I ain't just singling out them. It's like, but we
Right.
hear those stories of people that have those aggressive type of jobs and careers that are more in the news for domestic type of situations.
And then a lot of people that's in that type of aggressive thing, there's already aggressive before they got into it. That's why they got into it. You know what I mean? A lot of boxers, they got into being boxing because they had aggression. So they thought that that would
Mhm.
help them. Okay, let me help with your aggression. You know what I mean? Because if you're not an aggressive person, you're not going to be a boxer. If you don't have no
Yes,
aggressiveness to you, you're not going to be out there on the football field. You already have to have something in you. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That has
you're
that
right.
aggression. A lot of times, the younger kids, you'll put them in that just to, you know, they keep getting in trouble or they keep getting in fights. I'm going to put them in boxing. I'm gonna give them something to cool them off. I'm gonna put them in karate. I'm gonna put them in, you know, football. Blow some of that steam off. So you gotta realize they
Yeah,
already had the aggression. You know what I mean? Because you can tell the
yeah,
ones that don't have the aggression. Because they get out there, get hit a couple times, man, forget this. I ain't playing
Yeah,
no more.
yeah.
You know what
I'm
I
gonna
mean?
play
So,
basketball.
yeah,
You know,
I'm playing
I'm gonna play baseball.
especially now basketball now, because basketball now is different, way different than back when we used to play basketball. You know what I mean? When Jordan them was out there playing basketball, that was aggressive basketball.
Yeah.
The
Oh yeah.
basketball LeBron them play now,
Rodman,
man,
Rodman,
you scared to touch
Lambeer.
them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Them
You
boys
scared to
was yeah,
touch
them.
them now. You barely tap them. Foul.
Yeah,
Back before, so even that thing got soft. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So yeah. So, but I mean, it is what it is. But yeah. I hope he be able to bounce back. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But I like Javante. You know what I mean? I was a big fan of Javante.
Couple more topics, man. I'm gonna let you go, man. So, did you see the Drewski thing?
Yeah,
I'm
it
sure.
was hilarious. Now my thing is this: he didn't. All he did was take skits or take things that he's actually seen. Now
Yeah,
Mike Todd, he was hurt. He felt some type of way. That's why he addressed it. Uh,
yeah.
and I mean, it is what it is. You had the Dior jacket on. You know what I mean? So, I mean, there's a lot of pastors here in the city that made their comments, and basically they spun it to say, well, with him doing that, that drives people away from the church. He didn't address churches. He addressed mega churches that we've
Yeah.
seen for years, the Benny Hinn's, the Cleflo Dollars, you know what I mean? That we remember as kids, that was different. You know what I mean? Had the planes and send your money in, and you know what I mean? So he didn't say nothing to me that's what he's a comedian. What
The truth
nobody
hurts, though. The truth hurts. The truth hurts. Let's just be
right, the
honest.
truth hurts. They wasn't running to his side when the NASCAR and all them was upset when he did the NASCAR thing and made his hair. I didn't even recognize it. You know what I mean? Because when he did the NASCAR thing, they was pissed off about that. But none of the pastors ran to him and said, "Hey, look, this is our people." Says that. But now it hit home for them. Not all of them, but a lot of them that are on that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I thought it was funny.
Some of them need to be exposed, man. It needs to be exposed though, because you taking advantage of people, man. People giving you all their money,
Church is a
and then
business
something
at the end
happens
of the
to
day.
them.
I don't know why people don't understand that. Church is a business. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And they run it. Not all of them, but a lot of churches run as a business. You know what I mean? They need their ties. They need, I had an old school guy tell me years ago. I always wonder, is some churches that have different levels or have different areas that people to pay certain amount of tithes sit at, right? So I didn't understand that. I was like, well, that don't make sense. But he said, no, you got to think about it this way. If I'm considered a platinum giver and then you're a silver giver, you don't want the platinum and the silver next to each other, because when the platinum's getting ready to give his money, the silver member's like, you gonna give all that money? Man, they don't need all that. You know what I mean? So that's why they separate them. Or at least that particular church back in the day,
yeah.
they would separate them.
No, platinum. Look, I've been to a church where they got, okay, this the $100 line, this the $200, this the $500, this the $1,000 line. I'm
And that's
like,
a shame.
man,
That's a shame, people. It's so bad.
and they be lined up. They be lined up.
I went to a church where the pastor actually said, do not write no bad checks, right? So I think from what I gathered was, they was asking people to give a certain amount, and the people that didn't have it, the way that they presented it was, you have to stand up. So the people that didn't have it, so they wouldn't be embarrassed, they would stand up and write a bad check, knowing they didn't have the money, but they didn't want to look bad in front of everybody else, which I don't think is right. If you got it, you got it. If you're gonna give it with a grudgeful heart, you shouldn't give it anyway. But at the end of the day, they still gotta keep the lights on. So when you come in here,
I don't mind contributing. If your church, like I do pay, tithes and offerings. I sold to my church, right? But I sow on my own time, my own, how I want to sow. But I do see my church doing things. I think my money is going toward good things. You know what I'm saying? I go to shout out to Bill Winston, man, Living Word Christian Center, man. Good pastor, and he got money. Now, he a businessman. It's a mega church. He got a big ministry, but I don't mind because I see what he's doing. Like he got schools, he got grocery stores, he gives away cars. He got, I mean, they do so much.
He's actually giving back. He's not asking for the first lady.
Right, he ain't got four offerings during the service. He got one offering. That's it. They ain't. That's what I liked about it. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Right, and
they give you the word.
And like, to me, I don't believe tithing is just money. I mean, you can tithe in the community, feeding the homeless. Clothing and giving them stuff. That's tithing just like anybody else. Now, me, this is my personal opinion. I don't believe if I give the church 1,000 or if I give 100, I'm gonna get a different blessing. But there's a lot of pastors that say, if you don't give this certain amount, you're only gonna get this certain amount of blessing. Well, I don't necessarily believe that. God, what's for you is what for you. We say favor ain't fair. So whatever's for you is gonna be for you regardless. I don't feel like they need to shame the person and feel like, well, I want this big blessing. I need to give this amount. I had a buddy, he was saying that one time he gave his rent money, right? Ooh. So he gave his rent money, and I said, what happened? He said, I got evicted. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? And, you know what I mean? And then I guess, and his mother was like, well, why'd you give him your rent money? He thought that if I give the rent money, then I
hey, Stace, they got to play that music. And yes, he got the talking soft. Yes, I come now, come bring your money. And then the emotions got to kicking in. Oh, it was he had him. He had him locked.
That's like being in a club. You be like, I know I ain't got money for this bottle, but the females is over there looking. I'm gonna give me that bottle of repo. $350. Then you go home broke. Trying to borrow money. So it's the same thing. I think it's a lot of guilt that they put on people when people just need to realize, give what you can. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's give what you can. So, but it is what it is.
One last one, man. Did you see this, bro? The Corey Hogan.
I seen that. I seen Corey Hogan back down too and went sit down somewhere. I seen that.
According to Corey, he thinks. I seen his show today. He thinks because he told the man don't say it again, and he didn't say it again. He thinks he really won.
I mean, if that's how he feels. But my thing is, the man said, I'm about that. Come on, let's go outside. And when you didn't go outside, then ain't no use me saying it again. Because you've already showed me you ain't about it. So ain't no use me keep saying it. Because if I'd have said it again, if he'd have said it again, Corey wouldn't have did nothing. You know what I mean? He wouldn't have did nothing. For one, he wouldn't have did nothing because it's a show. Right? So I just don't feel like he would have did nothing because the man already said, come on, let's go outside then. You know what I mean? So he was ready to go outside when Corey was like, nah, he sat back down. I mean, of course, you know how it is. You argue with somebody, the one person gonna say he won, the other say he gonna win. But me, from my perspective, oh boy, basically just let him know, look, I'm about that life. You want to go outside and handle it that way. But I'm not gonna keep talking. We're not gonna talk. I'm not gonna talk you to death. I'm not gonna keep saying it over and over and over. You know what I mean? So I already said what I said. I meant what I said.
Say it again.
Right.
Say it again.
Right. I mean, how many times you gonna say that? It's like, what's my point of saying it again? I already said it once. You didn't do nothing. I already told you, come on, let's go outside. And you didn't do nothing. So what's the point of me saying it one more time? For the camera? Now, you may have tried something. I don't know, but we'll never know. So that's one of those, I believe this, you believe that.
Because Anton, on the other hand, Anton said he would have beat the crap out of you. He didn't say crap. I don't like the he'd have beat the shit out of Corey. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's saying.
I've heard Corey's had them issues before. Corey's controversial anyway. You know what I mean? He's gonna say some stuff that probably needed to probably be taken outside. You know what I mean? Now, if he felt like he won, I mean, in hindsight, I guess in a way, I guess he did win. When the guy wouldn't say it again, but my thing is, the guy already told you come outside. and you sat back down. So I mean, I think it's just however you want to look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Now, what
they
I
both
don't like.
grown.
Now,
So
what I
it's just
don't
how
like
you look.
is Corey on his recent show today or last night. He ended up talking about the man's daughter and like put a picture of his daughter up, the man's daughter, calling her name, she ugly, and his wife. I think that's all
weak.
bound. Bro.
I mean,
That
it's
was
weak.
weak. That was super weak, bro. I
But
ain't
that
gonna lie.
showed me that, you know what I mean, that you could have brought it up while we was there. You know what I mean? If you want to do that, bring a picture up now. But you wasn't about that life then. So, if that makes you feel better, by doing that, you know what I mean?
That's just off limits, bro. Look. We both fathers, man.
Right.
I don't care. If me and you get into it, man, don't put my family in it, bro. This me and you. Don't put my
But
family in it.
Corey
Now
knew
we
that,
got
he ain't coming back, but, me, I'm going to catch up with you eventually. You know what I mean? I'm going to catch up with you eventually. You know what I mean? But Corey, that's weak.
that's
That was
weak.
weak. Yeah, that's
Weak
weak.
is,
You know what
I
I mean?
mean,
So you
put a
go wait
picture
till
of
I
the
leave the
man's.
show.
He put a picture of this man's daughter on his show, bro, and talked about
But that
insinuating
shows your
stuff.
character. That shows your character. That shows his
Yeah,
character.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So,
That ain't.
he from Chicago too, ain't he?
Yeah, yeah. He from
So how
Chicago.
y'all do up there?
Hell no. Hell no. No.
This is
I
how
don't
y'all do
think.
up there.
I don't think nobody from the city, man, is rocking with that style right there. He should have
Yeah,
just left
that
it
was
alone.
weak. Yeah, that was
Weak,
definitely
bro.
weak. I didn't agree with that at all. You know what I mean? That was definitely weak. But I didn't see that part. I hadn't really been. I've been working on. We've been
I
working on the
rock
show
with
and stuff.
Corey. I rock with his show, but that right there made me lose a lot of respect. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see
Yeah.
his response, but when he did that, I just turned the show. I'm like, I can't watch this, bro. You done threw me off now. Because if anybody talk about my daughter, we got a serious problem. You know
Right.
what I'm
That
saying?
just shows you. You know what I mean? That's one of them throw rocks, hide your hand. You know what I mean? But he using his platform to he don't know how that girl feels about that. She's gonna see it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That can that's a mental thing where he's not happy with himself. That's because
yeah,
that's based on all his comedy. You can tell he's not happy. You know what I mean?
yeah.
He's one of those individuals. Now he's funny, don't get me wrong, but I think he
No, you
uses
was
his
funny.
own hurt and all that to reverse it, and that's how he became who he is as a comedian. You know what I mean? Whatever works, but I just think family and they ain't did nothing to you. She didn't tell you to come outside. He told you to
Yeah.
come outside. You know what I mean? So you wait a child leave, and then
Right.
you bring that
Right.
up. So yeah, that's just I think that was kind of wrong of me. Like I said, I like Corey too.
Yeah.
Every time he would come to the city, I would go to his comedy shows. And you know what? And then a lot of women will walk out of his shows. A lot.
Yeah, he do.
Because
Yeah,
yeah. I do
he
notice
take it
it.
far, bro. He push buttons. He definitely push buttons for sure.
Yeah.
He
So
push
I
major.
just think but yeah, I think it's just weak on his part. And I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
his closest people was like, man, that's kind of weak. You know what I mean? Zao, you come in there. He did that to other people. I think it was another female. I know she was talking about him. I can't remember exactly what the issue was with him or whatever. But yeah, he's did that before. So that's just him. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, Stace, man, it's been real, bro. Let me hit this song one more time, man. Let me give the people the song, man. Let me hit the song one more time, man, before we get up out of here. Let's go.
Ça pas d'un plan, non. Mais capable jamais de permission. Chaque fois où regardez-moi comme ça, qu'elle bat suivi. Ou pas y poser pour moi, mais ou fait m'envie pécher tout de suite. Moi connais où gagne la caille, moi connais gagne risque.
But yeah, it's really moving, and I was shocked.
Yeah, bro.
And even the Dominican community, You know, even on YouTube, I looked at my analytics. It's like 42% Dominican that love that
Wow.
song, and they don't really even understand it. But Dominican Republic and Haiti so close together, right there. You know, they're right
Absolutely.
next to each door. They next door neighbors. So a lot of them have been intertwined with Dominicans. So you know, like my buddy, his dad's Dominican, his mom, you know, she's Haitian. So you know, I
Okay.
understand some of it. You know what I mean? Because listening to them, or I listen to it, I listen to it on YouTube, and you know, as more and more I know the song, so now, you know,
And I like the video. I like. Make sure y'all go check out the video. That video is nice. I tried to upload it, bro, but I ain't got my tech guy with me.
Yeah,
I
you
ain't got
should
my
have told
tech
me.
guy this
I'd
week.
have sent it to you. I would have sent it to you. But yeah,
I
you know, and
got
I
it.
was
I
saying
got
that.
it. It could. I couldn't upload it on this platform, but
Okay, yeah. And I created all
yeah,
that with AI, you know, and I had to come up with what I wanted the video to be like, how it was set up. So I had to navigate. Basically, I had to direct the
you
whole
had to
video.
direct it. Yeah, yeah, you had to direct
Right.
it.
So, you know,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of creativity when you're dealing with AI to contrary to belief. You know what I mean? Now you can maybe throw something out there and get a good one or get a hit, but more than likely it's not gonna be where you want it. The words that AI uses is not, you know, because I know I follow a lot of AI groups, and AI uses the word neon for whatever reason in a lot of their songs that you don't
Mm.
write. If you don't write it, then they'll write it for you. And then for some, I don't know what neon means or what it came from, but I guess a lot of streaming services was kicking people's music. And I've never had no music. I never had a problem uploading my music because it's all been original music. A lot
So
of
is it on
music that
Apple? Is it on Apple Music too?
so to Apple, Spotify, it's over 150 platforms. So
Okay.
I never had an issue, but I see people say, well, I had an issue. He kicked it back saying that it had so much. What it does a copyright analyze and it analyzes the
Right.
instrumental. And if you allow them to make the instrumental for you, sometimes AI learns from artists. You know what I mean? You know, so over the years, it's learned from artists on the music, and every once in a while, it'll grab some sample or something out of the air, especially if you don't have hands on with it. You know, you can have AI, you can tell them, make me a UGK beat. Well, if you say actually UGK, it's a possibility that it's gonna snatch an actual instrumental or a sample from a UGK song. So you can't say artist. You know what I mean? You have to do your own research and figure out what type of tempo, what type of instruments, or what type of,
You
you know,
gotta prompt it.
every
You gotta prompt it
right,
right. Exactly. You
right,
gotta
because
be exact with that
New
prompt.
York to down south to West Coast, they use different type of instruments. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
you listen to West Coast song, you know a West Coast song, you know East
Oh
Coast
yeah,
song,
it's that.
you know a Midwest song. You're right. So
Yeah.
you have to be able to understand music. What's an A chord? What's a C chord? What's A minor? What's, you know what I mean? To actually get something. What's a hand pan? You know, you have to actually understand music if you want a
Yeah.
quality, you know, because that song was in a, before we get off here, it was a crazy story. I was in an Uber. We was going to the airport, and I had my AirPod in.
Go
One was
ahead.
messed up, so I took it off. When I took my AirPod off, the music started playing. Well, I didn't know that the driver was Haitian. So he started speaking Haitian. I said, "Nah, I don't really understand what you're saying." He's
Okay.
like, "Well, who wrote that song?" I said, "I did." He's like, "Man, that song's nice." He said, "Man, you got everything right from the instrumental to the such." He's like, "Man, you know, you ought to put that out." And that's what really made me say, you know what? So when I got to New Orleans that night, I put it on TikTok. And then by that morning, I had like 7,000 views. And I told Trent, I was like,
Mm.
look how many views I got off of this. By the end of that night, I had 100,000 views. So I now done
Whoa.
got spoiled. So if I drop the song somewhere and I get, she like, how many views you got? I say 30, 40,000. That's it. She's that it? 30, 40,000, that's it? You know what I mean? To me, it's like, that's low. You know what I mean? I'm used to getting 100,000, 120. You know, just like today, I put it on yesterday. Basically just letting everybody know, switched up the cover, let everybody know it's out. You know what I mean? Go grab it off the, you know, streaming platforms. And I did 132,000, like I think it was like 4,000 likes, like 600 saves. You know what I mean? Because they're just loving it. And I just got into something that was different. You know, everybody can do American music, whatever. But then when I tapped into other communities, I realized that they support more than actually we do. You know what I mean? It's hard to get a hit, you know, American wise, that somebody's gonna gravitate to. Now I know it's a lot of females. It's a AI group called Soul Sisters. They making some moves now. I already heard. I think her name's Nova something. But if you go on TikTok, you'll see every other female, every song I already heard. You know what I mean? It was a female that created that. I think it is a female that created that song and created AI artists and put it out, and it's like buzzing on TikTok. And it makes you feel good to look at the song and you be strolling through and then you hear your song on their background. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of you know, I think I looked, it's probably 15, 16 different people that actually use Fenvoyer as, you know, their little, you know, TikTok.
You know, I gotta support, man. You know, I'm gonna use it for something, man. You know, I gotta support, man.
You got to use it.
I'm gonna use it.
You know, get that stream done. But you know,
I
was surprised that the YouTube did as good as it did. You know, I'm like, man, 13,000 views in 5 days, which is good. You know what I mean? For an unknown, nobody, you know what I mean? And then to have almost 300 some subscribers, which is a good thing, you know? And it was crazy part about it was when I put it on there, it said it was a copyright issue. I'm like, wait, man, no copyright issue. I wrote it. You know what I mean? So, and I did all this. I did the research and it said it was Inner Street Records. And it says, how did they put it? They basically put Inner Street Records on behalf of Aura Media Group. I said, well, that's me. So basically what it happens is when you upload to a streaming service like DistroKid or whatever, they have like what you call a police. So what happened was it's under my name on DistroKid, but the artist is John Aura. The YouTube page is strictly John Aura, don't have my name. So when I uploaded to that, it looked like I was doing a copyright issue because I was using somebody else's music. When I realized it was my music, but I put it on the John Aura's YouTube page. So, you know, that you know, I tell anybody if you want to distribute some music, go to United Masters or DistroKid. And they'll protect your music, you know what I mean? So then when you and they'll let you know if
what's his name own that what's his name? The black guy. Don't he own United Masters? Or he works with them. Black music exec. The one that got slapped by Jay-Z and Dame Dash always talking about him.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, yeah. He works, I don't know if he owns it, but he works closely with them.
Not for real,
not for real. No, this the exact. Not for real.
He passed away.
No. Andre Harrell, no, he getting sued. Actually, no, he's still
he's still living. He's still living. Okay.
Yeah, he's still living.
Yeah, he might. Now I like United Masters. I can't say which one I like the most. I think because DistroKid, I wasn't used to using them. So that Fenvoyer, I put it out on DistroKid, and you can actually upload your videos. You pay like $99 for the year. You can upload your videos, and they'll post it all into the
Steve Stout. I want to say Steve Stout. I want to say.
I know you're talking about Steve Stout. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he works for United Masters. Steve Stout.
Yeah. I know you're talking about. Yeah. But So anybody that interested in, they got some music that's sitting around, they want to distribute, just distribute and see what it do. But you got to post it. You know, you can't just put it on there and hope somebody gonna find it. You know what I mean? You got to boost it. You got to get on Instagram. You got to get on Facebook. You got to get on TikTok. You got to let the world hear it. Find out who your core audience is. Boost it.
Yeah.
Boost it to them. If it's females from 20 to 30, 20 to 40, boost it to them only. Because just boost it to people that wants to hear it. That's why Fenvoyer was so good, because I only boosted to the people that actually listen to that music. It wouldn't make sense for me to boost somebody that don't listen to Haitian music. They don't even know what it's saying.
Yeah.
So, you know, I tell anybody, you know what I mean? So if you got something, just don't sit on it. You know what I mean? You might monetize, even though streaming, you don't really make no money, 3 to 6 cents a stream, but it's something. You know what I mean? You might have that next hit that everybody's dancing to or making TikTok videos too. You know, never sell yourself short. So,
man, there you have it. There you have it. Heard it from the boss himself.
Yep. Get ready for Indie Bosses full season. You know, here within May, we're gonna have it all done, and we're gonna try to figure out which avenue we're gonna go with it, so everybody can tune in and watch and get ready for second season.
Man,
we might even have Corey on there on second season.
Come on, man. Come on,
man. The way it's looking, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? On the second season. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I might have to take you up, take y'all up in them offers.
Right. You have to pull you in when we do one of those filmers out of town somewhere. You have to put you in the, you know, just introduce you, you know, from the sidelines.
Absolutely, man. I love it. So let me see somebody. You got some people chiming in. Cody. Cody.
Yeah,
J.
Cody. It's my partner, Cody. Yep.
Yeah, and I think you got Justin Smith. My man, Chill Will. My man, Chill Will chimed in. Of course, great supporter, Miss Tynesha chimed in. And yeah, man.
Yeah, appreciate all brother. Love.
Absolutely, man. 504 Beats on show react. Yeah. So he said, "What's happening?"
So what up?
Yeah. So yeah, brother. Well, hey, look, man, it's been dope, man. Thanks for coming on.
No problem.
Man, appreciate you, brother.
I guess I go down here and sing me a song or something, you know what I mean? Song or two.
Hold on real quick. Let me make sure y'all follow Mr. CEO on TikTok. Make sure you cop that
TikTok,
Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah, they're all the same. Stacy Williams.
Stacy Williams
on Facebook. But if you find one of the other two, you can find me on Facebook too.
Yep.
So they can tune in and follow the show.
Yes, sir. Indie Boss, Mr. CEO Aura Music Group. Appreciate you for being my guest tonight. And man,
be on the lookout.
We'll be talking soon, my brother. Appreciate you, man.
You already know. All right.
Hey, tell the crew I said what's up, man. Tell all the bosses I said what's up.
When I go downstairs, I'll let them know.
Absolutely, man. All love, man.
Watching anyway, so.
For sure. Peace. Right. What else, bosses? I see y'all. All right, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, what a show. Man, thank y'all for tuning in, man. It's been real. Let me wake y'all up. Hold on. Let me do this. Let me wake y'all up. Yeah, so that's how we doing it, y'all. Appreciate y'all for chiming in with me tonight. And hold on, speaking of music, I got something I want to share with y'all. So if you don't know, if you follow me, if you rock with me, you know I've been doing this. So we got, shout out to my man Big Chud. I got my Credit Boost mix, man. Volume number 3 is out. It's on YouTube. Check out them mixes, man. Shout out to my boy DJ Big Chud, for supporting and rocking with me, making them mixes, man. So make sure you check out them dope mixes. And if you need a DJ in the Chicagoland, Indiana area, check out my man Big Chud, man. He doing his thing. And also, if you want to promote your business, we got promotional packages starting at $50 up to $500, depending on what your budget is. Make sure you tap in. If you want to be a guest, if you want to promote your business, whatever it is, tap in the CONVO with CINO. And somebody said, we rocking with you, man. Shout out to Miss Me Ellis, M. Ellis. Shout out to you. Appreciate you for rocking with me. And again, if you want to be a guest, you want to promote your business on CONVO with CINO, tap in. And I got one more thing. Man, it's tax time. So shout out, man. I just partnered up with Max Refund Lab to get your taxes done. You talking about 1 kid up to 6, almost 7,000, 2 kids, almost 10,000, 3 kids, almost $12,000. So tap in, man. Call Solus at 708-712-1129 to get them taxes done, man. So That's my official tax partner here with CONVO with CINO and CINO Solutions. And of course, can't let y'all leave without reminding you about the New Year special. This January only is $226 right now. It will go up. This will go up. So make sure you tap in to this special right now. At the end of the month, it's going up to $399. I've been giving it away long enough. Plus, y'all gonna have that tax money anyway, so y'all will be able to afford it. Yeah, $7,000, $8,000. Y'all getting $12,000 for a couple of kids. Yeah, run that money. All right, and let me run your credit up. So, hey man, appreciate y'all for rocking with me again. Shout out to 22. Throw your tools up, man. Of course, we missed you tonight. I definitely missed you because I had to work all this stuff and do everything, but I think I did all right, you know. So, but look, man, appreciate y'all for tapping in each and every week. Again, Happy New Year. Be safe, man. Tell somebody you love them, man. Life is short, man. So tell somebody you love them, man, because you know, ain't none of us promised tomorrow, and we don't want to live in regrets. So it's your man Corey Williams, man, checking in, check it out, and I'm out. Boom.